Welcome back to the Après Business Podcast. Join your host, Rebecca Babicz, founder of Fall Line Digital, as we dive deeper than ever into conversations with the founders, marketers, and innovators shaping the outdoors. Let's jump into today's episode.
Let's talk about this for a second, because tell me if I'm not saying this right. Santoni seamless. Okay, correct. Got that. Okay, Santoni seamless knitting. And you've brought this up a few times. It's one piece of fabric. It's super different than cut and sew. From what I've gathered from conversations we've had on the website, one of the really cool things about it is it's like way less waste, right? So if you, like you said, you're not cutting, discarding the excess fabric. Sounds like it's a lot a lot more expensive to make. But you guys are like one of the only ones who are doing this. Why aren't more brands doing this?
Because it's really hard. So a lot of lingerie. So really, if you think of pantyhose, they're made on seamless machines. But that's nylon. And then a lot of activewear is nylon on Santoni seamless, because the technology and the needles are so fine and nylon is oil-based. So it just goes through the needles super easy. They don't break. The threads never break. And so when you have something like wool, which is a natural fiber, you have to get the microns so small. So the microns are smaller than a hair from a sheep. And then they have to be constructed or spin together so that they create the thread that then goes into the machine. And the machine is, if you looked on our website, you can see it's circular. So there's like probably 5 different needles that have wool in it. And then there's needles that have the nylon spandex in it. And so basically it's getting created, the product's getting created at the same time the fabric is in a circle. And it's virgin wool. So the wool isn't dyed. So the product comes out. Hopefully you can see this.
Can see it on YouTube.
Yep. So it comes out this size. And this is virgin wool. And this is the same garment after it's dyed. So it shrinks 30%. So we have to figure out like what is the diameter of it coming out, so that when we dye it and wash it and it shrinks down to the size that we want it to. And then the factory has to go in, because the wool, the threads are always just flying everywhere and it can break the needle, or the thread can break. With nylon, the thread doesn't break because it's just one long thing. So it's just hard, like technology, it's hard. So we had to find a factory that was willing to work with us. And factories make it with socks, but the needles are bigger. So it's not as, what's the word I'm looking for? Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. Cause that's what I was going to say. I love my BRANWYN leggings. The compression is insane. It's like, it almost feels like I'm like cheating or something. Like, did I just like suddenly look better like putting these on, because everything is so squeezed in and I feel like super like just cute. But yeah, that I noticed that immediately, just how compact they are, and I love it. I love it for particularly like yoga. I think it's really, really great for a yoga legging.
It is. And then it's also great if you go skiing. You just throw it on under your ski pants.
Yeah. I'll have to test it as a base layer. I run kind of hot, so I wasn't sure if they would be too warm.
I mean, for me, I find that they keep me the right temperature.
Okay. All right. This weekend I'm going to test them out as base layers. I love it. And it's like what you said, it's like merino wool is like any female skier, snowboarder already has that relationship with wool. They don't in their minds, they know what that means. It means it feels like butter and not like itch. So expanding, so we talked about this a little bit earlier, but what about expanding beyond outdoors? What are some pros and cons? Because as a pure, oh my gosh, I have so many questions. Okay, we'll stop there. I'm gonna write it out with my next question because it's direct to consumer and wholesale. So
Yeah.
first question, do you want to expand or is there a big benefit right now of focusing just on outdoors
So
or
we're
positioning
really
yourself in the outdoor industry?
absolutely. So we're actually looking at health and wellness. That's important. And there's a movement around people realizing how toxic a lot
Yes.
of activewear is and the
Yes.
PFAS and
Yes.
so and as you said, yoga, like you can pretty much wear these products for anything. So really helping people understand that. You can wear it to the gym. We've had a lot of women who are instructors or who like personal trainers. So they're working out all day long, they're sweating, then they wear it because it's temperature regulating. If they sweat, they're not worried about it. So it is a great fitness piece. And health and wellness, I think, is really important. And that's huge. I mean, if we can start really helping people understand that this is a great product for that, I think that would be a next circle out from outdoor.
I love it. Um, and what would be your approach for entering those markets?
Well, we already are a little bit in that we get featured in travel and leisure, so we're already seen as a bit of a travel, and I think that's a nice leap into the health and wellness. And then we do talk with a lot of people around just the benefits of natural fiber.
Hmm.
And again, like that's a nice health and wellness. We have a lot of awareness around that. So those are two ways that we're already approaching it.
I was just asking because obviously the Facebook ads agency girl is like, oh my gosh, I have so many ideas for you.
Yeah.
Because it's like all these little, and that's what we're doing a lot with our ad accounts is like these little micro niche campaigns, right? Like
Mhm.
is like looking at the product and it's like, okay, yes, this can be an awesome base layer for skiing. Yes, this can be an awesome base layer for or a performance piece for yoga. But then finding those micro niches of um like what you were talking about. So it's like um people who are just really don't want plastic on their body, right? And like talking
Mhm.
all about how like that, like you said, like that's a big trend. So like that could be a little micro niche. And then what was my other idea as you were talking? What was the other
Travel?
travel for sure. Yeah, I think it was just like the yeah. Yeah. Anyway, cut that out. As we're
Well,
no,
and
it's
also
fine.
moms, mothers, new
Uh-huh.
moms,
Yeah.
really, they start to be like, oh my God, I'm having a baby, and thinking about what they're putting on their skin, thinking about what they're eating.
Hmm.
That's a huge opportunity for us.
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah. No, I just like recently, I mean, it was honestly through social media, but I like, because how else do we learn about anything in the world? But like recently realized, got turned on to like polyester and how that's plastic and how that's in all of our clothes. Like I just, that was even like in the last like 2 months or something.
I
Like I don't
know.
know. I feel like I should have known that, but it's been really fascinating. Because a lot of the popular like Lululemon and all of the leggings that all of the women my age have been wearing for decades are all made with this stuff, right?
I know.
And PFAS
Hmm.
is another one of just gonna get like wasn't it supposed to be banned, right? So it shouldn't even be able to you shouldn't even be able to produce new clothes with
Hmm.
PFAS,
I
right?
know, but everyone
Regulation.
does.
Yeah. Yeah. And still does, even though that was passed like last year, right? It was
Yeah.
like the thing.
It is
Um,
hard. I mean, like you would have to like there are billion-dollar companies, billions and billions of dollar companies, and even if they make a small switch, yeah, that has a huge impact.
mhm. Hmm.
I think it's hard. Like I know Lululemon's done some wool, like they're Swiftly. They came out in wool, but it didn't stick around that long. I think it is hard when a company has like they're known for something and it's fabric and it's has this performance, but it's really tied to the technology of nylon and spandex. It's hard to then pivot to
Hmm.
a different material base.
Hmm. Especially if it's selling, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay. Let's start with that because I actually have other questions. So you are one of the fastest co growing companies in the US. That is so amazing. Okay, so you're one of the fastest growing companies in the US and you are purely direct to consumer, which means you have no wholesale partnerships. You cannot find Brandwyn at REI. You cannot find Brandwyn at backcountry.com. I talk to a lot of brands. We work with a lot of brands. Wholesale is a big part of being successful kind of with apparel. I would say most feel that that's needs to be a part of their mix. You have not had to do that, which tell me more about, is that strategic? Do you want to go there? How are you making that work?
Sure. So we made a decision pretty early on to do direct to consumer and focus on that and become really good at that. And part of it is we now have a relationship directly with our customer and our community. And so we have to do a lot to validate that we're real, that we're honest. And so we spend a lot of time and energy making sure that we're communicating that on our website, through our press. We've been fortunate to be featured in a lot of press, through testimonials and then through five-star reviews. So that just helps validate who we are and what we're doing. And then also, as we talked about before, really having a focus on community and customer happiness. Then when somebody does buy it and comes into our community, they can feel like there are people behind it. And for us, what I think what people don't really understand is wholesale is almost a whole different business than direct to consumer. And it's really hard to be good at both, especially when you're starting out. And so if you're focused on wholesale, then the focus is on your relationship with the retailer and making sure that they're successful selling your product. And if you're direct to consumer, then your focus is on how do we connect directly with our consumer and put time and energy into that. And it's like I've talked to friends who are in both, and they say it's literally two different businesses. And so I think early on, it's been really important for us to focus on our consumer and having that relationship. And then I'll just say, like, again, I've been in the outdoor industry for a long time, and I love specialty stores and I love REIs. And I just think it would be really hard for a woman to walk into an REI or a specialty shop and try to find somebody that could help her find the right bra.
Hmm.
So then if we think about the customer experience, it'd really be like where would be the right place for us to be found so that a woman would walk in and have that same sense of safety and comfort talking to the salesperson who probably might be a guy, versus just coming to our store.
It's like you have built, I mean, you'll say community, I'll say like a cult following. Like I feel like it's this brand where like I wasn't following you guys initially on Instagram, but then we got connected, so then I followed you, and then I saw all of my friends were following you, and I was like, I was like, oh, like these guys are famous on the internet. Like all of my friends who know what's up and are like really into women's focused stuff and love women's
Mhm.
focused apparel are all following you. So I felt a little bit behind on that, but I think that that's from the outside, I don't know. It's like that cult, it's like that relationship, that community, that cult following, which I feel like we talk about that a lot in the podcast,
Mhm.
but it's not as easy as it looks.
Mm-mm. It's actually funny because well, we have on our staff calls and like just between us all, we'll be like, we had a sighting. We had a BRANWYN in the wild sighting. I mean, everyone gets so excited when we see it. And then of course, it's that awkward thing where I live in Bend and I went to do like a dip in the river and this woman comes in and I'm like, I think she's wearing BRANWYN, but I'm like staring at her bra. And we don't have like, we really don't have any marking on the outside. So I was like, are you wearing BRANWYN? She goes, oh my God, I love it. And so, and then when people find out I work for BRANWYN, it's almost like a fangirl moment because I think they're like, oh, there is people behind it. Um,
Like there's a whole
and
happiness team behind it too.
exactly, exactly. Yeah. And but I really think it's like we are so true to what we do, and we don't have a lot of products, partly
Hmm.
because that's our sustainability mission. And
Hmm.
we build products based on what people need. So we just launched a boy short this year, and that's because we have been getting demands for it for 3 years. I mean,
Hmm.
literally demands for it. And so so we're really thoughtful about our products. We don't want to create something that then people don't want or goes into the waste.
Hmm.
So yeah, so we have to be just super thoughtful about everything we do.
I know, I love it. And you guys are always sold out of everything because there's been a bunch of colors. I'm like, I want, oh, it's sold out in medium or whatever.
Yeah. We're coming back with some new colors. I think we will. So one thing we will start doing like limited edition or limited drops of color. Again, we don't want to just create a bunch and then be like, "Oh, here we have things that you should buy." It's really people love to like get a new color. And so we do a limited quantity. And then when it sells out, it sells out. Although I've been like pushing everyone, I'm like, I think we need to bring the blue back from last year.
Hmm.
So there's
Um,
been a lot of demand for that. So stay tuned. It might be coming back in.
okay, so I was actually really looking forward to this conversation because I've had so much on my mind about sustainability lately. And I know, and I was like, this is going to be great because Deanne's going to totally open up about this. I'm sure she has thoughts because it says on their website and they have full transparency about sustainability and things like that. But Patagonia just came out with their sustainability report.
Hmm.
And I'm sure, have you seen anything about that? Right. And it was okay, so too long didn't read for anybody listening. It was like this like 45-page report. That they came out with, and turns out fashion isn't sustainable, right? It's like they don't own the supply chain, so like they're trying to do things and they're trying to make progress, but they're behind on a lot of the things that I think consumers like me would have expected a little bit more. That's how I felt. I felt equal parts. I did feel disappointed. There's some parts of the report where I was like, that's a little disappointing, Patagonia. But then I was also like, part of me was like, um, okay, you're trying and imagine the brands that aren't trying. So my point blank question to you is like, can a brand like Brandwyn ever be truly sustainable? Or is that even the word? Is that even like, does that word even mean anything? Can a product like can an apparel brand be sustainable or only sustainable to a point? And what does that look like for someone with your background in conservation and kind of like in your role? How do you view that world? How do you view that point of view?
Yeah, so I think there's some brands who are pretty amazing right now. Um, I was just in Venice. I can't remember the store, but it was Venice, California, but uh on Abbot Kinney, and they had the most beautiful clothes that were just repurposed pieces
Hmm.
from other clothing or from other uses. And so, but they're expensive because they're handmade and
One
it
of a
takes somebody
kind.
exactly. Um, and I think there's probably a continuum of really unsustainable and then completely sustainable. And I'll tell you where we are on our journey. And the one thing I will say is when we started at a time where there was awareness about factories, conditions, sustainability, product development. And so for us, we were able to gain from the learnings of the Patagonias
Mm-hmm.
and the advocacy of the Patagonias and the Higg Index and the Outdoor Industry Association and the Sustainability Working Group. So that by the time that we're here, our factory is LEED certified and we walk into it and the CEO has lunch with the workers. Like that there's an awareness around that. And so part of it, I think for anyone who's new is really building that into the partnerships from the very beginning and knowing that you have people who are committed, as committed as you. Because ultimately we rely on our partners to help us meet our sustainability goals. And so if they don't care, it's going to be really hard for us. But if they care and like it's hard to work with wool, but our factory is doing it and they know how important it is to us. And
Mm-hmm.
so we're working with them to figure out recycled nylon and recycled spandex instead of using virgin nylon and virgin spandex. And it's been a little bit of a journey for us because for a while we couldn't have access to the nylon because we didn't have high enough quantities that's recycled. And then we also didn't want to compromise. So we talked to somebody at the textile exchange and she said, well, your products work for 3 years. Like that's sustainable. So you're always like trade-offs between if we're making this move, are we then losing something somewhere else? Um, but it's so much easier if it's baked in from the beginning. And so with Patagonia, they have products that people love and buy and rely on, and they have their factories who are making it. And with all these tariff things, like people are like, just move factories. Like we spent a lot of time building our relationships. You just don't move. Like there's quality, there's can they do it? So
Institutional knowledge, yeah.
absolutely. And so I would say for Patagonia, the fact that they came out with it means that they're putting a stake in the ground for themselves. But I'll just say this for us. So we use ZQ, which is the most ethical wool on the planet. And it's traceable for the most part. And they have like they look at the wages, they look at the workers, they look at the animals to the point where I'm actually going to New Zealand to meet with the people who are growing the sheep for our wool. Like
Cool.
we know who they are.
Cool.
And they were like, "Well, you have to meet the shepherds because the sheep are out there and if they have a stressful moment, it will affect their wool."
Wow.
So that like one stressful moment, like if it gets too cold or so the sheep are out there making sure that those or the shepherds are out there making sure that those sheep feel safe all year long. And
Mm-hmm.
that's their highest priority. And so I think like we can do things to help nurture that in the world and to help put time and attention and money. And we pay more for our wool because of that, but
Mm-hmm.
it's worth it.
And it's like you said, your product's more expensive, but it's not a luxury. It's not just a brand play on a 500x return on a high margin product
Exactly.
because they're,
Mhm.
you're buying into the brand. You are buying into sustainably sourced materials, supply chain, all of those things that you're doing, thoughtful product.
Mhm.
Um, I love it. I love it. I think it's so cool. And it feels rare, but at the same time, I think I love that you called out that you're a newer brand, and I do feel like a lot of the brands that we have on the podcast are newer, and so like that's a good call out. It's like
Mhm.
you were able to start at a different place, and so your starting point was different. That's a really good
Mhm.
perspective.
And it built on a lot of work that a lot of people have been doing. And so we're here and we don't even have to make that big of changes because we started out in such a great place. But you know, you have your factory and you're like can you they're running their own business too, so asking them to also be partners on this journey where maybe they're not going to get much out of it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They're not incentivized to change because that'll just cost them more money.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So interesting. Well, thanks for hanging out there with me for a little bit
For
on the
sure, for
sustainability,
sure.
because I figured you were the one to help me kind of unpack it, and I'm sure it's really interesting for the audience. Okay, one final question, then we're gonna go to our rapid fires. If there was one thing that you could, one thing that you wish your customer, if you can wave a magic wand and one thing that you would want them to understand, what would it be about Brandwyn?
I think they get it. Like you said, there are all your friends are following. So I think they're following because they're like, I think there's something here. I get it. Um, and what I think is so interesting is our vision is a regenerative world led by women.
Hmm.
And so we believe that women, when we're like able to really step into our full, I hate the word power. Maybe it's self power. I don't know. Self-determination, that if we were equal leaders in the world, like 50-50 leaders on all levels, the world would look a lot different.
Hmm.
And so like that is baked into everything we do and every decision we make. And and we're and so for example, we were just talking about this. We had our social media year in review yesterday where we call it our all hands team, and we bring in our PR agency, we bring in every person that touches Brandwyn. Um and we meet once a month, and we showcase like what we were doing on social media this year, organic. Um and we don't pay influencers. And we made that strategic decision like a year and a half ago because we just felt like our Instagram is a place where women come, and we want them to be able to tag us and know that they're sharing with community, and it's people who actually use our product and love our product, and it's not somebody that we are paying to talk about our product. So we do have to pay people because we're asking them to stand in a bra and underwear for ads. So I just want to say, like, yes, we do pay for that. But they are people who already love Brandwyn. Um, and I just think that that's like really making the decision to know who we are from top to bottom, in and out, and then having that be reflected throughout the entire company.
Hmm. I love it. I'm super inspired. I think it's incredible. I know it's
I
not,
wait, yeah, can I just say something real quick? I just had this flash of, did you see the Lilith Fair documentary?
no.
It was really interesting because it's with Sarah McLachlan. And so she came up with the Lilith Fair. And one of the things that happened because of it, like it was one of the reasons she did it is because at the time the radio stations weren't playing two women back to back.
Hmm.
And because it would signal that it was not a real radio station.
Hmm.
And so she wanted to do it to showcase that there was actually more than one woman, and that we didn't have to position women against each other, because if you can only play one, then all of a sudden everyone's competing for that one spot.
Hmm.
And so she was like, why don't we all come together? And then she created Lilith Fair. And one of the things that happened with Lilith Fair was that there was a woman running it. There was women grips. There was women on the stage. And so it started this entire like generation of women who were at the higher tiers of management when it came to shows and it came to putting up shows and travel and entertainment. And so it really just created this cultural shift for where women saw themselves and where women could be. And so as I think about BRANWYN and like our internal team, we're really about like how are we cultivating leaders, giving women the opportunity to shine, sponsoring women. And so we think about it like throughout our entire company.
Hmm. I love it. Is there anything else that we didn't talk about that you're
No.
dying to share with our audience?
No, thank you. I could talk about this forever, so thank you.
I love it. No. Um, well, okay, let's wrap up with some fun rapid fire questions for you. Leggings or joggers?
Oh, leggings. I was like, are the compressive leggings? Leggings.
Leggings, okay. You mentioned you were in Venice, California.
Hmm. Hmm.
Ski day or beach day?
Oh, beach.
Oh yeah.
Mhm.
Um, yoga or trail run?
Trail run. That one's a hard one. The ideal day would be both.
Um, hot coffee or iced coffee?
Well, I drink tea, hot tea,
Oh, hot tea or iced tea?
hot tea.
Hot tea. Um, okay. Designing new product or optimizing operations?
Design new product.
Oh,
Hmm.
I like that one. That was like no hesitation.
No, no. Sarah Cumming. She is a great optimizer.
Shout out to Sarah.
Yep.
Uh,
Big shout out to Sarah.
Merino bralette or bestie bra?
Bestie.
Art or photography?
Art.
Oh, okay. Favorite après drink if you drink?
I actually quit drinking 2 years ago.
I've somehow I was like, you never even told me that, but I was like, I don't know if this question is gonna land even before I asked it. Because drinking's like a it's just like a non
I know. I know it's
everybody's soberish. There was like a New York Times headline. Everybody's soberish, and that's how I feel about my own life. Like,
I know. I know. It's really over 2 years ago, I was just kind of like, oh, this isn't serving me.
yep. So you like a LaCroix or
Yeah, I do like making mocktails, like a nice I can't even think of the word for it. What is it? Oh, margarita. I was like, it's been so long. A nice margarita mocktail is pretty great. And then there's some really nice wines out there too. I would
Mhm.
say a wine if I was doing après.
Okay. All right. All right. My last question that I always ask people, sometimes makes people cry, but I love it anyway. What I what makes this journey all worth it for you?
Hmm. I was just thinking about this the other day. Like, I feel like people have to have a why in their life.
Hmm.
And my why, for some reason, has been making the world a better place for women.
I
When
love
I was in fourth grade, I wrote this little pamphlet. It said, women, 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 women.
that.
And then I was in Grand Island, Nebraska, and you open it, and it was like, basically, women aren't given a chance in the world. I don't know where I found it and why it has been who I am. Um, but that's my North Star.
I love it. I love it so much. We didn't talk about this, but we like when we first chatted, we talked about
Hmm.
like she jumps and
Yep.
how you had part in that in the early days and like have we met before? And yeah,
Yep.
it's so cool. Well, on that note, I would say probably your parents did something really great for you to be a young feminist at such a young age.
Actually, what's really interesting is it was Grand Island, Nebraska, and I think I horrified them. Um, and I don't think they knew anything about it. But my mom, she just passed away a year ago, and she, well, she wouldn't have been like, at least in the beginning, she wouldn't have been out front about it. Um, she, her mom died when she was 6, and she raised herself, and she uh played softball and swam and taught adults to swim and loved being active and loved being outdoors and was the kindest soul. And so um I think it's really her. I
Well, I
know.
feel like that's a beautiful moment to end on.
I know, thank you. I was surprised I didn't cry. This week's been really hard for me. I'm like literally it'll be a year next week. So
Mm.
kind of reliving just the loss of her. I
Yeah,
mean, I've been living it all year, but yeah.
yeah, yeah. Um, well, she's so proud of you. I know that, and um, I feel her shining on you. So,
Oh, thank you.
well,
Thanks.
thank you so much. Oh, we did it. We
Yeah.
got a tear. Oh, um, I'm gonna cry. All right, YouTube, you got us. Um, yeah, yeah. It's hard. It's hard around the holidays. This podcast won't go live until like 2026, but we're right before Christmas, just for
I know.
situational awareness.
Yeah, definitely. Well,
Well,
thank you, Rebecca. This was incredible. I could
yeah.
have chatted with you all day, and you have a sick daughter, so
I know.
you're the mom who gets the award. Your daughter is going to be on a podcast soon, and they're going to be talking about how amazing you are.
Oh gosh, I know that would be the most rewarding moment, but yeah. Okay, real quickly, where can people find you? How can they connect with you? How can they connect with the brand? And we'll end it on that.
Sure, I'm on LinkedIn, Deanne Buck, and then BRANWYN.com, and also social media. I would say our Instagram is just a beautiful, incredible space. So
It's super wonderful, and the website is gorgeous. The branding, I don't know. Shout out to the the branding agency and the photographer. Really, really beautiful. If you need some D2C inspo, check out BRANWYN.com.
Oh, you're so sweet. Thank you.
Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed this conversation, please like the video and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss future episodes.